What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Mika Says Sukasa, and I am your host, Niko House. So I want to urge you all to donate to our One Follow, $1 campaign on Patreon. You can do so by clicking on the Patreon link below and just donating one single dollar. Let's show the mainstream media that if they will not cater to the truth, then we will donate and invest in those who will. So thank you all so much. And if you are subscribed, thank you. If you're not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise you will not regret it. You may not always hear what you want to hear, but I'll definitely tell you what you need to hear. And it will come from an objective and rational and hopefully a place of truth. That's what I always strive for. You can ask anybody on the channel, ask people in the comment sections. We have progressive subscribers, conservative subscribers, and everything in between. But mostly everybody here just seeks truth, and that's what I aim to give. So thank you all so much for tuning in if this is your first time, and I hope that you all stay to subscribe. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and get started now. The plot thickens. Looks as though the Justice Department's Inspector General, ooh, that's the mean guy. You know when you go in a restaurant and whenever they're like, the health inspectors come and everybody's scrambling to clean up things that you ain't never cleaned up before, dig out food from places you ain't never dug them out before. All of a sudden everybody's shirt's tucked in the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's the Inspector General, people. The DOJ's Inspector General has been actually focused for months on why Andrew McCabe, as the #2 official at the FBI, appeared not to act for about 3 weeks on a request to examine a batch of Hillary Clinton-related emails found in the latter stage, of the 2016 election campaign, according to people familiar with the matter. The Inspector General, Michael E. Horowitz, has been asking witnesses why FBI leadership seemed unwilling to move forward on the examination of emails found in the laptop of Anthony Weiner until late October, about 3 weeks after being alerted on the issue. Now, if you all don't remember this, remember when Anthony Weiner got caught, doing a bunch of crazy stuff because he couldn't keep it in his pants when talking to little girls and taking pictures of himself with his shirt off? Yeah, remember that weird, awkward, pedophiliac situation? Yeah, that was right before the election happened. And then, as you all remember, James Comey announced that, hey, we're going to do an investigation on the situation. But it was like way too late to really affect anything. But apparently, Andrew McCabe knew about it actually weeks, almost a month before they made that announcement. Why is this important? Well, this once again just kind of reinforces and reaffirms what we already know and what's already been released and confirmed by Christopher Wray, that McCabe was biased because he had conflict of interest, because Clinton helped pay for his wife to lose an election, because his wife's a registered Democrat, and he's friends with Mueller, and friends with Comey, and friends with the Clintons. So clearly, he probably wasn't the best option to put in charge of the Clinton email scandal, nor was he the best option to be put in charge of Russiagate, because he has conflict of interest. And this, once again, is another example. 3 weeks, it couldn't have anything to do with the fact that the election was about a month away, right? Couldn't have anything to do with that. But we're crazy. People I feel like people who think that the Russiagate theory is just the myth, once again, I'll call it a myth for those of you who don't know, because all myths have some ounce of truth. If you want to tell me that there's a good chance that Trump has a friend who is a Russian oligarch and at some point they probably did something illegal, I'm going to say you're probably absolutely right. Billionaires, there's no such thing as an innocent billionaire, right? With that being said, that does not equal Putin hacked an election. Those are two separate issues entirely, people. For one, Putin actually doesn't get along that well with his Russian oligarch friends. I just want y'all to know that. So, but that's a different discussion. But I would say what's more important to think about is the fact that the timelines just don't make any sense. And that's really the biggest clue. I think that's what ties everything together. The timelines are too convenient. The testimonies don't even match up with the initial claim. Like, for example, James Comey testimony said the dossier was salacious and unverified. But now on Twitter, he's pretending to be the superhero. We're just trying to serve justice. Why are y'all doing Putin's work for him? I just don't get it. Get out of here. The stories don't even make sense along with the timelines. They oftentimes get mixed up. People, for example, think that Robert Mueller is brought on to the investigation to investigate Russiagate, which that's not what he was brought on for. He was brought on, once again, say it with me now, to investigate the firing of James Comey amid the Russiagate scandal. Yeah, there's some intersectionality with that. But that's not the same thing as he's investigating Russiagate, because the person in charge of Russiagate was actually Andrew McCabe. You see what I'm saying? That was the person who was actually in charge of the Russiagate investigation. Mueller is not. Mueller's supposed to be investigating the firing of James Comey, which clearly we now know he deserved to be fired. I'm glad he fired him. I don't approve of a lot of stuff that Trump does, but this is one of them. James Comey deserved to be fired. Andrew McCabe deserves to be fired. He does not deserve to retire. I wish he was not allowed to retire. But we just need to understand that you don't have to be left or right to see the obvious. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties will lie to get their way. The way we have to critique and criticize Democrats at this very moment is exactly how we're probably going to have to do eventually whenever we get a progressive in office. We're going to have to probably critique and criticize both the Democrats and the Republicans at that point. But objectivity does not have a party affiliation, people. Nor does it have a political ideology. It is or it isn't. And objectively, anyone can see that the FBI is not objective, and they have been violating the institution that is supposed to remain objective in the face of constant political pressure, agenda-based pressure, and Andrew McCabe failed to withstand that pressure. Hell, it looked like he even took part in the overbearing fruit there, taking a little $700,000 for his wife to run that election, to lose it, by the way, but she still took over $700,000. $700,000 from the Clinton camp. And of course, there were no conflict of interest. But he took 3 weeks to investigate those emails, people. 3 weeks? What the hell? That's email investigation, which, by the way, should have been the end of Hillary Clinton. Once again, people, if you do not know, I am a military veteran who worked in a military intelligence unit who prosecuted cases like Clinton's. When you're a paralegal, you pretty much, anybody who's been in the military knows, you got to do a job that is, if you're, for example, a nurse, you're a doctor now. You just got your 8-year degree. You didn't, well, what if I only have a 3-year degree? Don't matter. You're a doctor if you're in the military. If you're a paralegal, you're an attorney. If you're a JAG officer, you pretty much, you do what the paralegal doesn't get to do. Like, you go in and talk. But like, we have to interview witnesses. We have to conduct investigations. So this is pretty much what I had to do when I was in the military, and especially with the military intelligence unit. You run into email situations, unsecured and all, top secret and that type of stuff all the time. I'm telling you, we had to prosecute someone because the law was very clear. UCMJ is very clear. The federal law is very clear. If you send that, even if it's by accident, one email that's top secret or secret, and it is unsecured, that's it. Very bare minimum, you're getting a field grade Article 15. But most times, you're doing jail time at Camp Lejeune. That should have been the end of Hillary Clinton. But they were going out of the way to make sure. You know what an indictment is, people? An indictment, you don't need a lot for an indictment. If it took you a year to investigate the situation, the moment that things came up missing, like you destroyed servers, that shit was boom, you're indicted. You gotta go. We gotta have this conversation now. You don't have to be a Democrat or Republican to see this. I don't think so. It's the truth. It's a fact. Let me know what you think, people. like, share, comment below. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, find your balance. Peace.